Welcome to Conversation, part of the Upper Podcast. We have the co-host of Defend Philly Pod, where they talk all things Philadelphia Flyers hockey with his co-host Vanny Hamerman. He also works at 94.1 WIP as a producer. He's a huge Flyer fan. We got to talk game one, game two, as we are on the eve of a pregame to the pregame show. We're doing it 4 hours before anybody. I'd like to welcome to the podcast Louis Cocco to the podcast. Louis, how we doing? And I got to say, how about those Flyers, my man?
Man, how about those Flyers? I'm doing well, Trevor. Please appreciate you having me on. This is a Flyers team that I said, and a lot of people said, were dead about 3 or 4 months. Hunter Brody and I talked about it frequently. On
I heard it on post game. I was ready to call in. It's like, yeah. I just left the Anaheim game. This team's not dead yet. I was like, I don't want to ruin my cover these days, anyways.
But we were. I mean, it really felt like it, and especially in the city, it felt like this team was dead.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, post Olympic break, man, they just flipped the switch. Tocchet made a couple adjustments, some tweaks.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, I mean, we just took 2 games in Pittsburgh. That's unreal. That doesn't just happen. That
hasn't happened since I was in college.
Right. I know. That takes grit. That's I saw some quotes from some of the Odyssey stations out in Pittsburgh.
You're doing your spying. I like that already.
Doing a little bit of spying, and they were saying, "Hey, man, this Flyers team plays with some sandpaper," and they're not kidding.
Was that during the Tyler Kennedy interview? Okay,
it was the Tyler Kennedy.
That interview. Rat Tyler Kennedy from back in the day.
Yeah, and he was saying, he's like, look, when they beat us in 12, I didn't want to go to Philly. That sucks, dude. In a 2-0 hole coming to South Philadelphia, prepare yourself.
Yes.
It's going to be, not only is it going to be a bloodbath, it's going to be like the 7th layer of hell for the Penguins. I'm serious. It's going to be, the building's going to be rocking.
It's gonna be a zoo. It may be the Spectrum from back in the day.
Yeah, it might be.
Recrested himself, anyways.
It might be. It really might be.
I gotta say that game one was fun.
Oh, it was.
But game 2 was even better. I'll say that.
Yeah,
it was like, even though I was like kind of medicated from being in the dentist chair all day, I was looking at it, I was like, it's 2-0. Like, okay, let's do this at least. Like,
and what's weird too is, so I was producing the Phillies game during game 2.
Yeah.
So I was kind of watching both. I mean, I had to be locked in on the Phillies, but I was unfortunately. But I had to be, I was watching the Flyers game, and when you're kind of in between games, you're watching, like, man, it's 2-0. Like, this team's stifling. I did my post game pod. I was really fired up. I watched the game back this morning.
A
little scary, to be honest. It was a gutsy win. It wasn't like a flawless, unbelievable performance. The Penguins made some adjustments, but it was, to Tyler Kennedy's point, total sandpaper from the Flyers. And the other thing is they made the most of their opportunities.
Yes.
And that's what won them the game, outside of Vladar dropping a goose egg on their head top. Like Vladar pitching a shutty in his second postseason start ever. Unbelievable, but it wasn't like a flawless game. But
no.
And Tocchet said it post game, sometimes you got to win the dirty games, and that's what happens in the postseason.
It was great. I enjoyed that one because it's like you see other types of hockey to play. Like, sometimes you have to get an even strength goal. Sometimes you have to get that shorthanded goal at least to sway the momentum at least with the fourth line.
And Porter Martone and Porter Martone's obviously leading the charge here. Well, not quite leading the charge, but he's been, especially in the city, in Philadelphia, but even around the league. I mean, he's just an exciting player, and 12 games into his NHL career, 2 game-winning goals, whatever it is. But he's kind of exemplifies the way that game went. It wasn't like the prettiest goal. I mean, his goal in game 1 against Stuart Skinner was frozen completely. He couldn't. His brain had the loading screen. He couldn't even. He froze, and that puck went top Ched, and he's sitting there like, What did I miss? What did I miss? Because he didn't even know it went in and out so quick. The goal in game 2 was it wasn't the greasiest goal, but it wasn't pretty. It was just kind of like a little bit of a broken play, kept it on the backhand, and it didn't even go top, like it didn't go bar down or anything. It was just kind of in the net. But that's the thing. He scores anyway, and that's the way the Flyers played last night. They got it done how they needed to get it done.
They had to find a way to win anyways.
Right.
You have to get the dirty goals, like the greasy goals, and like you have to be in the blue paint, which has been like the MO this whole year. Is like how we don't have one tip in yet, like during the Calgary game back in like September or October, and like people they finally learned like we gotta be in the blue paint and get those type of goals. Anyways,
absolutely. So, it's a testament to Cocco too, and just the grit that he shows. It's rubbing off for sure.
Oh yeah, I like to say that to all the morons that wanted him fired, like you can now shut the bleep up. Honestly,
when he was first hired, I was pretty neutral on it.
I was excited for it. I was like, sweet. Like we have a former Flyer. It's a younger version of the ones we had in the 70s or 80s. I'm giving this a chance at least. I'm just like, it's gonna take a process, but I'm down for it anyways.
And that's the thing. And I'd been saying it all season long. I've been all right with a lot of the decisions Cocco's been making.
Yeah,
I was good with the hire. People breaking the door down. He needs to be fired after 50 games. You gotta give it. Not only is it's not like he stepped in and it was the exact same team from the past couple of years and he's just kind of fitting it. Not only was he the new coach, they signed Trevor Zegras, they signed Vladar, or
traded.
They trade for Zegras, they signed Vladar. They acquired
signed Dvorak.
Signed Dvorak, right? They get all these other pieces. They basically add guys at the deadline with Martone and Barkey came up a little bit into the season, and Bump came up a little bit into the season. So it's not like he just got plopped into a team that already had a system. It was in flex. This whole thing was in flex. It's been in flex all season. And there was some fair criticism. I get it. But you can't just kick the guy out after 50 games. Because look at what happened. They hit a stride. He has these guys bought in, and now we took 2 in the Penguins building.
Yeah, and plus he was the assistant coach for those 2 last times they won Stanley Cups anyway.
Won Stanley Cups, right? And as a player with the Penguins. He's got 3 rings. Say it again.
Which I forget about it. I blur out the player part anyways. It's
just forget about it.
Forget that. He played at Washington, Boston, and LA anyways. End of his career. I just think it's just a total testament. It feels like I'm not compared to anything yet, but it's like series is not over as what I'm going by.
It's not.
It's anything could happen, but it's like it shows that like it's a process. Like you can't just like it's not like a quick fix. No. This is not Alain Vigneault who was drinking martinis. Like just do a few things anyways.
Yeah, no, it's not. And again, it speaks to that everything's in flex. I mean, it's a young core.
Which I like.
11 guys on the roster, like either under the age of 25, whatever it is. Like the average age of the roster is somewhere in the mid to low 20s. Everything's in flex. Everyone is still learning, but the key is how much buy-in he's got already. And that bodes really well for what the future of the organization looks like.
Which we could honestly say, I could say this and you could say this too. When I've always thought of Flyers hockey, it was like, we have some young pieces, but a lot of aging vets with high free agency tags. It does not matter if it's Peter Forsberg, Mike Raffke, Darian Hatcher. It does not matter that. That's what I've always got. That's my baseline sometimes.
Yeah.
I love Jeremy Roenick. I will not throw him in the criticism with that because he does not belong in there anyways because they were good still.
Yeah.
But it's like they've always got the high age veteran and then 3 years later or a year later, they can't play anymore. So
right. Exactly.
It's not a quick fix. This one could actually last a lifetime at least.
It's what it feels like. It's what it feels like.
But what's your we compare this? What would you say was your before the season started? What was your expectations? Because I said like if they can make the playoffs, I'll be fine. I just want a young, fun, and dumb hockey team. As I was going through my notes this morning.
Yeah. No. So Vonnie and I on the podcast we said 3 to 4 years before they were probably a bubble team. So I was expecting a playoff in 3 years. Like I wasn't expecting anything. And it was really just because of how many unknowns there were with the new coach. It doesn't always, what Laviolette went to the final. Well, that was his first year. So
yeah, it's half season. I call it half season.
Yeah. It can happen where, you just all of a sudden things fall into place and now you're in the Stanley Cup finals. It can't happen. But generally a coach in their first year, it takes some time. Again, everything's in flex. And with the guys that were on the roster, Zegras, we still weren't sure about. I mean, we had a good idea. We weren't sure about Vladar. We thought he was Sam Erson's backup.
That's what we all thought.
That's right. So looking at the team, we're thinking, and Martone was in college. 3-4 years maybe. because we didn't expect Martone to look like this.
No.
And then all of a sudden, Zegras is having a career year, Dvorak's having a career year, Vladar's having a career year. You know, and Martone coming up this late, looking unbelievable. And how about halfway through the season? You know, this is fast forwarding a little bit. You asked my thoughts before the season, and it was 3 to 4 years before a playoff appearance. Halfway through the season, then we start to have all the drama with Michkov, and it's like, man, this team's cooked. And in January, it all fell apart, and we were like, yep, it's over.
Yep,
it's over.
I think I'd go by this with Michkov still, and you should, if you want to take it, you can take it from Reynolds. He's my lazy Russian. We haven't had a lazy Russian player in forever, anyways.
And you know, I mean, Ovechkin's the greatest goal scorer there ever was, but sometimes he's criticized for being like that lazy style player.
Yes. And Sergei Fedorov towards the end of his career, he was kind of lazy too. Right.
So I still believe, and we can get into this later too, but I believe Michkov can still be elite. It's his second season, and he's not even 21 yet, I don't think.
No, he's not even drinking yet. Come on.
Right. So that's a whole separate story, but it didn't look good from the outside. And look where we are now.
I kind of give props to Kevin Kurz for that reporting, because I feel like the Philly reporting has been soft these days. I was like, we want to know I always wondered what the fuck's going on with Michkov, and he does report like, at least someone's doing good journalism around here. Right? So even though a lot of people dunk on Kevin Kurz, like I actually like to do, because he still brings the old Philly attitude at least, anyways.
Right, and it's, you know, I mean, I can understand where a team, an organization, a player might not like their coach coming out and saying, look, he came out of camp but you could say it maybe once and then continuing to harp on it. Yeah. I understand that might be grating for fans to hear, for an organization to have to deal with now, because now all of a sudden everyone's talking about how your coach is just ripping the kid who's supposed to be a star player. I was okay early on with Michkov not getting the minutes, because he hasn't looked great. At the end of the second half of the season, he looked way better.
Yeah.
And again, he put the work in during the Olympic break. And even last year, he scored like 30 points in 30 games in the second half of the season. And it was similar this year. He had like, I don't know the exact numbers. It was
20 goals at least.
It was nearly a point per game. So it was looking rough for a while there. But it seems like everyone's kind of turned it on right at the right time, which is the absolute key.
Definitely, for sure. One of my first thoughts on Vladar when he got signed, I was like, all right, cool. Then I went to the Flyers' first game. It was like the second game of the year for the Panthers. Like, oh, new goalie. Let's see. Let's hopefully. I said this is my expectation. Maybe he's Robert Esch. Maybe he's Robin Czechmatic.
Yeah,
we'll see what we have, anyways.
Right.
And he looked good, anyways.
He looked awesome. I was at the home opener. He looked awesome. And I started thinking to myself, Vonnie and I immediately did a reaction podcast. Everyone's like, do we have a goalie? Like, do we have a goalie?
We haven't said it maybe since
Pally Lindbergh. Well, Bobrovsky, I guess, but then
Bobrovsky was still speaking Russian anyways.
He was.
He was still speaking Russian, and we needed a translator. Anyways.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what I always say. It's like, funny enough, it's like Bobrovsky's like, he's a king of Florida. It's like, cool, we had him first, but he couldn't speak a lick of English.
No, and then we got rid of him. And then
we won a
Vezina with Columbus, and then he won back-to-back cups with the Panthers. So
I know
it's been let's put it this way, it's been a damn long time since we've been able to say, man, the Flyers have a goalie. And through games 1 and 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, round 1, Vladar has looked unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable. Down the stretch, even in the regular season, he looked unbelievable. And now I can't say enough about him. He's amazing.
He's been remarkable. He's been the best thing that's happened. He's been like, even though the Flyers haven't had a goalie for, like, I look at like low expectations, see what happens anyway.
Yeah.
This is not like Michael Neuvirth. This is not like Steve Mason. He's not like it's not any of those other previous goalies.
Right.
Exactly. It's entertainment, at least.
It is. And he's someone on WIP, I think it was the afternoon show yesterday, Hunter Brody was on, and they asked him, is this, are we just getting a career year from Vladar, or is this really how he is? And I agree with what Hunter said. He said, as far as I can tell, this is how he is. You can have like Connor Hellebuck, for example. He is known to have an awesome regular season, Vezina-esque regular season, and then just crumble in the playoffs.
Crap his pants.
Right. And let's take the gold medal game out of it, because he was, and even in the Olympics, he was unbelievable. But he is known to be a guy that in the regular season, he's unbelievable, best goalie in the league, and then he's terrible in the playoffs. Now that we've seen an unbelievable Vladar in the regular season, and the first 2 playoff starts in his career, he's looked like that. Look, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but it looks like Philadelphia's got a guy for the first time in a long time.
First time in a long time.
Yeah.
Not a caller, but a goalie at least.
That's right. Exactly.
So we can say that. I gotta say, what would you say the West Coast trip changed the vibes of the Philadelphia Flyers? Not because of the Olympic break. They were going well in the Olympic break when it restarted anyways. But I like to say that West Coast trip just gave them new energy. Kind of. Can we say that? Like a nice long road trip somewhere warm usually helps out the boys anyways.
Yes, yeah. Get a little time to maybe relax a little bit in between games. But certainly, and that seems like what a lot of people are saying is, that trip, it was getting chaotic there at the end. And let's bring it back into the context a little bit of this series. Erik Karlsson, after the game, said, "Can't wait to get out of Pittsburgh for a few days." Now, that sucks for Pittsburgh fans to hear because they just embarrassed themselves twice on home ice in Pittsburgh. But that mentality, he's not necessarily wrong.
No, he said it before anyways.
Sometimes you get out of your home building. Sometimes you go far away and you're in a hostile environment. It's just you and the guys. You kind of hunker down. You're in the foxhole together. And it's like, let's grind this out. And to do what they did on that road trip instills an awesome amount of confidence in this team. And you're right. I mean, I don't think this season changes the way it does without that road trip. It doesn't.
Yeah. As someone who's on that road trip, probably the most funnest 2 Flyer games I've been to in a while. Anyways.
So I wanted to ask you about that because I was at Cutter Gautier's game in Philadelphia, his first game in Philadelphia, and it was, the place was rocking. Up in the press box, like, the atmosphere, you could feel it shifting, and it was just hostile.
It was such a fun game to watch. In Anaheim, there's a lot of the Anaheim fans were booing Zegras, by the way.
Oh, well, I guess so. How about Drysdale? Was anyone booing Drysdale?
They weren't booing Drysdale. They were booing Zegras anyways. And when Cutter Gauthier had the puck, everyone was booing it. All the Flyer fans were booing him because it was like everyone on the side where the Flyers shot twice at, all the Flyer fans were there anyway. So it was like during a power play, Cutter Gauthier got booed every time anyways.
Wow.
It felt like I looked at myself, am I on vacation or am I in South Philadelphia almost anyways?
And you're seeing a lot of orange, so you're probably a little bit confused, right?
I go by, so I had to figure it out when I was packing. I was like, do I wear black or white anyway? Let me wear black at least because I can't wear it because I still rock the throwbacks anyway. So it's like I can't wear my 3D orange jersey like I usually do.
Yeah, exactly.
To the first game, so I have to wear my black jersey. Where's my Ronick jersey? Wore that, and people funny enough, my buddies saw me on television anyways when they scored the first goal. Yeah, Luke Glendening go see a guy in Ronick that's with a white hat in the back anyway. So that's me anyways. So it was fun. I enjoyed that one. I love the LA game a little more because you saw more famous people anyways.
Yeah,
there's people who are Flyer fans who live out there. It felt like that one was way more fun to be at. The Anaheim Philly game was all right, we have to go to. The other one felt like it's a hockey game and there's a lot of Flyer fans here. So you saw pockets of orange everywhere in the lower bowl and also the nice premium areas as well. So
look, Philly fans travel, and we know it for the Eagles. We know how well Eagles fans travel.
Yes.
But look, Philly fans just in general travel well.
Yeah.
So, whether it's people coming from Philadelphia going out there or it's, people in the area that, show up for the games. Look, it's a dedicated fan base, that's for sure.
Yeah. I go to the games in Florida, for the Panther games usually when I play the Flyers. There's some Flyer fans still show up, but it's not when you grew up watching the Flyers play the Panthers, you see pockets of cheering of Flyer fans. It's not like that anymore. So, you can still people say, how did you not get did you get harassed? Dude, I've been to other opposing arenas. This is nothing right now. Yeah.
It's awesome.
And I go to Tampa, there's all blue and you see some orange and people all the Tampa fans are just a-holes anyways.
That's awesome.
All right. What do you say the one big problem we do have is the power play still stinks. Good old Sean McDonough said on the national feed. I don't know if you're watching the national feed or heard it. The Flyers power plays haven't done anything in 5 years.
Yeah.
What's the problem? Would you say?
Well, it's a great question, and I can't exactly put my finger on it, because even after a coaching swap,
Yep.
it still feels like there's nothing going on. From my perspective, from the hockey perspective, they're too far on the outside. No one's attacking the net, and let's remove it just from the power play in general. Let's look at it as a more 30,000 foot view. All season during the regular season, now the backstretch of the regular season and the playoffs so far have been a lot better. But the regular season, the Flyers were passing up on shooting opportunities left and right. Rick Tocchet talked about it all the time post game. I'm telling them, I'm trying to coach them to shoot. I'm trying to coach them to shoot, and everyone's they're trying to get too play happy, making plays and pass happy, and we saw it all during the regular season. I'm still seeing a lot of that with the power play. Martone has certainly helped. I mean, he's just dangerous. It doesn't matter what he's doing, where he is on the ice. He's just a dangerous player. But the Flyers are still a little bit timid in terms of shooting, still very much looking to pass, looking to make a play instead of, look, there's all kinds of traffic. Let's just get it on net and have someone there to crash. Like, have somebody in front of the net to clean up the dirty rebounds. I don't know what they can do to fix it other than let's just try and shoot a little more and see if that changes something. Because look, the old adage, pucks on net and good things happen.
Yes.
So if you just get the pucks on net during the power play, generally good things happen. Yeah, good things happen. The other thing is possession. Puck possession.
That's been their problem.
Has been a lot of the problem. It's a lot of dump and chase. And I know people shame Rick Tocchet for that. He's a dump and chase system guy. In the playoffs, it's a possession game. The Penguins, look, the Penguins look pretty run down, decrepit. Now, I know they put some pressure on them last night, but generally, they don't look as spry as they once did.
No.
But it doesn't matter, because if you're just giving up the puck, if you have 5 feet over the blue of your opposing blue line, you're walking into the offensive zone, you just dump the puck instead of curling, looking, take a second head up, make a smart pass. You're just giving it up. So part of that happens on the power play too. We're doing the slingshot thing. We go,
everyone does the slingshot thing.
It's annoying as hell. You do the slingshot, then you get all this momentum coming up to the blue line and you dump it. Like, you can't set up that way. You cannot set up a play that way. So I think it's a combination of they're thinking too much about trying to make a play and they're not thinking enough about puck possession. That's my take on it.
Could it be also that we don't have the heavy defenseman that knows how to shoot the puck? Like, I love Jamie Drysdale. I think it's a good story. He's not a power play one guy or two guy.
No, and I like Ristolainen on the power play because he got the heavy shot, but he's also not the most offensive minded defenseman.
Exactly.
Now, I'm interested to see now in the Canadiens game, the game 82 of the Flyers season. I was at the game. Oliver Bonk looked pretty good. He's a big boy. He's not necessarily known to be like
a power play
outright, power play guy or offensive-minded defenseman, but it'll be interesting to see what maybe he can do. But you're right. I mean, if Drysdale can mold himself to be a little, and believe me though, I mean, game 1 and 2 of this Penguins series, Drysdale's looked really good.
Yes,
for he has taken a step forward beyond what he did in the regular season, and he's had some offensive chances, and you can see he learned from his goal in game 1. He made a little angle change. He got Skinner moving, stuck at 5-hole. And last night, he was doing the same thing. You could see he had the puck, and he would dip the shoulder a little bit and then change the angle. So I think he might be able to. It's taken him a while to come around and develop, but he has taken strides. But to your point, he's not your big howitzer defenseman that, you're just unloading from the blue line and just, you're just firing on the goal.
No, he's not no Chris. He's not no Chris Pronger. He's not Eric Desjardins. He's not Chemo Timonen.
Right.
That's what
exactly. So we'll see. That is certainly part of the power play as well. I don't know. It's a difficult situation.
I think I also say by this is it's just too much thinking. Just rip it. Just fucking sling it or rip it anyways.
And Tocchet talked about that too. he felt maybe, again, it's in flex. We're all learning. He felt maybe, and I don't remember what he said this within the past week or two. He thought maybe he was overcoaching the team a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of it. And look, it's not necessarily his fault. It's a brand new thing. You're trying to get to know these guys and, the dynamics in the locker room. But yeah, I mean, maybe he was over. Maybe he was just shoot. And they're getting scrambled in their brains. You're not sure what to do. So now that maybe he's pulled it back a little bit, and maybe it helps. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe they just need to get rid of the old John Tortorella shooting ideas anyways out of their heads anyways.
Maybe.
Which I'm happy to see. I'm not happy to see he's coaching again anyway.
Yeah, well, right. And then that Vegas is playing pretty well under him too.
Yeah, they're like the New Jersey Devils, like of the West. Like, get the fuck out. Like, come on, just enjoy television, please. I don't need you behind the bench. Like, how you rocking suits now since you have a good team. Like, get the fuck out of here. All right, I gotta ask you a few things about those Penguins. Do the Penguins not know how to do adjustments at all? Like, Dan Moo's not understand the word adjustment. Like, no, bright bold letters, anyways.
No, and look, it didn't between game 1 and 2. They got punched in the mouth in game 1, and Crosby said it. We got to fix it. You would think maybe they would, and look, maybe the adjustment they made, they definitely came out physical in game 2.
Yeah,
definitely physical, but it didn't look like they changed a whole lot about the game plan in general. Like they didn't do a whole lot. It looked like a similar game, just a little more intense from the Penguins. Yeah. And then midway through the game, when he realized that the Flyers aren't giving them anything to clog in lanes, like he still didn't do anything. No. They just rolled out the exact same game plan for 3 periods and thought maybe they could wear the Flyers down, but it didn't work. There was a shutout from Vladar. Yeah. Now there were points where it got scary. And I think I said that at the top too, where they control the Penguins, in my estimation, controlled the majority of the game. In terms of puck possession, had a lot of high quality scoring chances. Vladar looked great, but they didn't really, they just kept doing the same exact things over and over. We're going to keep trying.
Yeah.
It didn't change anything. They didn't score a goal,
which is crazy.
Yeah,
it's like a square peg in a round hole. Like, do they not understand that at all? It's like, is it because I don't know who his assistant coaches are? Like, does he not have any playoff? Does any of the assistant coaches have any playoff experience? Like, yo, Dan, change this anyways, or is he stubborn like Dan Bosma almost?
Maybe. And how about Crosby? Not a point in the series,
which is crazy. I was expecting like, all right, Crosby getting his points here. Malkin's got his point already.
Sure.
What's next, anyways?
You would think, and they don't even seem like they're doing anything different. They're just trying the same things. It's just, I don't know. It's awesome for the Flyers, and it's embarrassing for Pittsburgh, which makes me happy. So, speaking of embarrassing,
Chris Letang, woof. He's aged pretty badly in this series.
Yeah, I was saying to Hunter last night. In between, we went to commercial break after the Phillies game, or after our post game show with the Phillies. And it was right before Hunter came on. And I said to him, again, watching on the TV, they did a close-up of Letang. He just looked forlorn.
Yeah.
And just totally decrepit, crestfallen, whatever adjective you want to use to describe. He looked geriatric. And Owen Tippett put him in a blender on that play.
Cycle, baby.
Literally like a Maytag washing machine. He looked just lost, completely lost. And I listened to the radio call, the Penguins radio call, and the Penguins television call of that play, and they're just like, I think the radio guy was like, "This is a nightmare come true."
Yes,
they're falling all over each other, trying to hit Owen Tippett, and he makes a sweet pass to Garnet Hathaway, just on an unbelievable effort. And look, I've been ripping, well, not even low-key, high-key, I've been ripping Tippett, because to me, he is one of the most frustrating Flyers to watch, because if you haven't been watching him for his whole time in Philadelphia, and you're just tuning in now, he looks great, and I'll give him all the props in the world, because he absolutely deserves it. But there have been times where, and I also don't want to be negative because the Flyers are up 2-0 and he's been a huge factor.
Somebody's got to be negative, though. You got to be negative at least.
He's been frustrating. He should have like 100 points, and he's got 50, or give or take. But he has turned it on at the absolute correct moment, and doing stuff like that to Letang last night, that is what he can do. That's his ceiling.
He's a top 10 pick anyways.
Higher. Yes, he can be. It's just if he can figure out a way to put it all together, man, that could be enormous for this Flyers team, let alone him playing the body. He's one of the most physical players on the ice right now in this series.
Yeah.
And like coupling his type of skill, his ceiling with his physical play, if he can be consistent, that is terrifying for the NHL to have a guy like that and some of these young, guys coming up with the Flyers. Man, like that could be scary.
It's not just scary. It's like, oh shit, we have something to work on here with the Flyers at least.
And I understand, and you probably can speak to this too. The Panthers kind of gave up on him. It was when they sent him to Philadelphia in the Giroux trade, this is kind of, dude, like we kind of ran out of leash here. Go, make something of yourself somewhere else. What was the Panthers' mindset on Tippett?
The Panthers' mind when I saw the trade happen, I was like, okay, because they didn't know where to play him. He's usually either healthy scratch or he's in the lineup anyways. Right. There's a lot of like balances. Like Mason Marchman was on the team. You had like Barkov, Humidor. Like it was checking like where does he fit on the roster anyways?
Right.
You had an aging Joe Thornton on that team as well.
Yeah, right.
It was like you had to figure out like where does he go? And it's like I looked at like, oh, he's gonna at least get a start in Philly at least. He's at least gonna get some quality ice time at least. He's not gonna be in and out of a lineup under then interim head coach Andrew Brunette. Anyways, when I first people ask me like, what would you do the Giroux trade? It's like, who is Florida gonna trade anyways? I was looking at the rosters like. Huber's not going to get traded. This guy's not getting traded. Like you're going for an expiring deal. Like I looked, I was like, I guess Tippett or Marchman anyways, but I don't think Marchman would have worked out anyways. So
yeah.
But
I mean,
I was excited because it's like, say, hey, at least I got someone I know that I can root for on the Panthers anyways.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll always be a Giroux fan, like forever. But people talking about bring him back to Philly.
No.
Yeah. I don't think he's got a spot.
Like I think Chris Therien said it on a Snow the goalie was. It was like he's done his time. It's like we need to move on at least.
He's happy in Ottawa. He's happy being at home. Let him be. And look, and Ottawa's in the playoffs too. Yeah. So
2 in a row for him anyways. Good for them at least.
Yeah.
Were you when you saw that Gary Bettman was going to be? I saw the tweet by my Eddie buddy. Like I think Kevin Kerr said like Gary Bettman was going to be in the building. What were your thoughts immediately when you saw that? Was like well, this is going to go 1-1 at least.
Yeah, you would, and I think it was your tweet I saw. Gary Bettman's fingers are all over game 2.
Yes,
and it's true. I mean, he must look. Early on, I saw a couple and even like from the Flyers' perspective, I don't remember who. I think it was Noah Cates.
Yeah,
pretty egregious board on somebody behind the net. I'm like, man, they're really gonna just pocket the whistles tonight. And then you got like phantom high sticking on Tyson Forrester, and you're not doubling up when when Crosby's in Ristolainen's face, gives him a shot, and of course Ristolainen cocks back and punches him in the face. Can't do that, but take them both at least.
Yeah,
they only take Ristolainen.
They did it during game 1 with Drysdale's helmet off, and Crosby like that's a penalty.
Exactly,
Crosby should be in the box anyways.
Absolutely, and it kind of felt like, man, here we go.
Yep.
The Penguin, they want this to be the closest possible series, and Gary Bettman is just wiggling. He's
thumb on the scale right now, at the deli counter at least.
He's fixing some things, and look, again, a gritty win by the Flyers, so they were able to overcome it. What would the Penguins had 4 power plays, I think, and 4 power plays in the first period, or 3 power plays in the first period.
Like it. Felt like it.
That whole first period felt really one-sided towards the Penguins.
Yeah, and it felt like the old NHL 05-06 when the first everyone was getting a power play. It was candy almost.
Right, exactly, and they still couldn't get it done. So, it's definitely look. It's a great thing for the NHL to have a Flyers Penguins bloodbath rivalry because
it's good for the NHL.
people tune in for this stuff. I hear it all the time. I when I was a fly, around the country, blah, blah, I'd be watching the Flyers because they were always on prime time, and because it was fun to watch the Flyers.
Yeah.
And how about the Bruins Flyers game on TNT was the most,
and the ABC one too also
were the most watched games on those networks. I can't speak exactly for the ABC, but the TNT one I know for sure was the most watched hockey game on TNT ever since they gained rights to broadcast NHL hockey. It's because people want to watch the Flyers. The Flyers, when they're a good team and when they're relevant, is something people want to watch and talk about. And so it is great for the NHL and for growing the game and having someone exciting like Porter Martone and hopefully Michkov and having a story like Dan Vladar.
Mm-hmm.
It is exciting and it's great. And Crosby, the Flyer killer, and he's frustrated. But it's got to be fair. Like we have to have a standard here, fellas. And Bettman, like you said, he can't be the
deli guy just fucking it all up anyways.
Yeah,
weighing on the cheese or the turkey or the mayo anyways.
Right. So, yeah, I wondered a little bit when I was like, oh, okay, interesting.
Shout out to Anthony Sanfilippo. Kevin Hayes' his fingerprints all over this anyways.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. What's your big thing about Game 3 as we are airing this on the day of Game 3? What are we going to expect? I think this is the first Flyer playoff game since the year of our Lord 2018.
Yeah.
This may be a zoo. And when I mean a zoo, it's going to be bonkers anyways.
I was saying it to Hunter last night. We saw videos out of Buffalo when the Sabres played their first playoff game in 14 years and people were losing their minds. They were in the streets, running around, beating up dummies and roller skating around. And actually the one guy that was in that one viral video was wearing a Aristo
jersey.
Go figure. That is going to be very much the same energy, if not, and I don't want to take away from Buffalo because Buffalo has some crazy fans. Bills Mafia, like we know the type
I love
of people.
Bills Mafia. I love Bills Mafia. I live in South Florida. There's more Bills fans and Dolphins fans down here. I'm not joking, by the way.
So we know what Buffalo fans can be like, and and Philly fans get it.
Yeah,
it's been so long, and it hasn't been. It's been double as long for them.
Mm-hmm.
But that angst and that build up, dude, Trevor, the Xfinity Mobile Arena is gonna explode.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna uncork that place, and it's gonna be rocking. I wouldn't be surprised if the boards are shaking. People are gonna be. The arena might be full 2 hours before puck drop.
Oh yeah.
People are gonna be in the streets.
Xfinity Live will be packed.
Xfinity Live, now Stateside Live, is going to be a zoo, a total zoo. The whole South Philly sports complex is going to be a zoo. The building's going to be rocking. And I think the Flyers going to come out with a lot of juice. I think the Flyers coming out with juice on Wednesday, tomorrow.
What do you think Dan Vladar is going to do for an encore, you think? That's a big question.
Honestly, I don't know what he's going to do, and he won't either, because when they clinched that series, I was standing right next to him in the locker room, and someone asked him, so, do you remember throwing your hands up? He said, no, I actually have no idea what I did. I have to go watch it later. So he probably won't even know what he does when he inevitably, hopefully, has an encore, because, man, he's a stud. He is a total stud.
Exactly. What do you think Phil Bork will say during Game 3 on the Pittsburgh Penguins radio call? Anyways, he was so disgusted. Anyways,
I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't know what he's gonna say. But it's probably not gonna be. It's gonna be scary for the Penguins, and I think the radio guys, you got to set the scene. It's not TV. It's theater of the mind. That's the whole idea. So I can expect Penguins radio broadcast to be painting a very vivid picture of the animalistic orange ocean that's going to be in the stands. And I'm really hoping that it's a lot of my nightmares coming true, just like the tippet call, the goal and the the call on the Tippett goal last night when, again, he put him in Letang in a blender.
Yep.
I'm hoping it's a lot of, I can't believe we are now down in a 3-0 hole, in an 0-3 hole. I'm really hoping that's the call.
I know. So good old Phil Bork. Be on the locals. Be on the lookout for that if anything comes out on that anyone on Twitter.
Yes.
Will Stanley News learn how to adjust in this game, you think?
I think he has to.
Yeah.
I think they're probably going to mix a lot of things up, whether it's lines, whether,
Would you sit Ben Kendall? This is a big question. He's been invisible this whole series.
And he was supposed to, and he had a fairly good season. Would I sit him? I don't know if I'd sit him, but I mean, maybe you have to. Maybe they're in an 0-2 hole, and it's kind of like what the Phillies are doing right now. The Phillies have been bad. I don't know their record off the top of my head, but they're under 500.
At least you're not a Mets fan right now.
Well, that's really bad. Yeah. But a lot of people are saying Rob Thompson's got to do something, change the lineup, do something. Dan Muse might have to do. Yeah, maybe he does sit Ben Kendall because he's got to do something to get a spark in this room and show these guys, business. I think they're probably going to come out, and I thought they would try a little more to get under the young guy's skin last night. I think going into Philadelphia in a hostile environment, Crosby feeds off of that negative energy. Malkin does too. I think their number one plan is just going to be cheap shots. Like that's all they got. I mean, how about Stuart Skinner at the end of the game tripping Martone? I saw some clown on Twitter. Well, he skated through the blue paint.
Oh, Andrew Filipponi, the pony boy, I'm calling him.
I don't know if it was him specifically, but
he did say something like that anyway.
I know he's got some pretty, and from what I can tell, and I've done very mild research. People in Pittsburgh don't like him either. So, their own fans don't necessarily like Filipponi.
When Mark Madding's defending the Penguins fan against Andrew Filipponi, that's when we're in bizarro world right now.
It's a problem. So, that's the tactic that they're going to choose to use. And that's all they got because they don't have any bullets left. No. And they're coming into a hostile environment, hoping not to get, to lose another one and go in an 0-3 hole for game 4 in Philadelphia. So
would you be surprised if they scratch Letang?
Yeah, actually, I think I would be surprised just because of the pedigree that Letang has, but he was terrible. He's probably the number one. And again, I heard it during the, on 93.7, it was scrolling around. I don't remember if it was during the interview or whatever it was. They said Letang is probably the most glaring issue right now, or, of the big three or of, this team. He's probably the guy that everyone's like, this is really bad. This guy is doing really poorly for what the bar was set for him and what he's supposed to be able to do. It's Chris Letang. He's in his prime. Chris Letang was a hell of a player.
Yeah.
So for him to look as poor as he has in the series so far, would I be shocked? Yeah. Would I be like totally surprised? Probably not. Probably not totally surprised, but shocked. Yeah, probably.
I'd say like if he has got to make a move, it's like Letang, you're brutal out there.
Yeah, he's been really bad. Yeah, and he looks old. He just looks like he doesn't have it anymore.
And that's like, and when you look at that was like the first big contract extension before when Fenway Sports took the team. Like, and everyone's like, you're re-signing Letang anyways.
Yeah, right.
And that contract has backfired so badly.
Yeah.
It sounds very familiar. Like when Flyers did a big contract only backfired, like at least know someone else backfired for it.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
All right. Let's do a fun rapid fire. We do this all the first time guess anyways. Cool. What's your era of Flyers hockey? By era, like player goalie era.
Oh man. So I was that's really because
I grew up, it was like 2000s, like end of Lindros ended. It was Leclerc, Boucher, like Roman Czechmanic came in, and then like Roenick came in right after.
So I'm in like and I know he didn't play here for a super long time, but I was a big fan of like Antero Niittymaki.
Okay,
I loved him. I was a big fan of Bush. Like I loved. I mean, mixed feelings on Michael Layton. I was a big Steve Mason guy. I also have a big affinity for goalies. I played goalie for a little while.
Oh, why? There we go.
Yeah, I love. I'm a career defenseman. That's what I played most of my career as. But I like goalie. So
Okay.
I'm always pretty focused on goalie. I was a Bobrovsky fan, but at the same time, like the Tiemanns, Giroux, like the early Giroux type. I'm trying to think some of the other guys that was really fun, like the Gagnes.
Gagne was the one guy that lasted almost for me.
Yeah,
he was like the one similar thing that lasted, and I was like, okay, cool, at least.
One of my most favorite Flyers of all time. I'm a huge Danny Briere fan. I
like we all are growing up.
Well,
and when I was like, especially in me in high school, it's like, what do you want for Christmas? Like, can you just get me this white Danny Briere jersey, please?
Briere jersey, yeah. A big Briere. I wore 48 for a little while when I played for Danny Briere, so I was always a Danny Briere fan. I mean, those are the guys that come to mind when I think of when I grew up watching Flyers hockey. Yeah. But, I mean, it's I get nostalgic thinking about, those times, and obviously like the 2010 team and everything. And but
like for me, I'm nostalgic about the 04 team. Because that's like one of my favorite teams of all time. It was like Primo was unstoppable. Roenick was unstoppable. I love Tony Almani because of Team USA. It was like you had a lot of USA hockey on that team, and like Ash was on the World Cup team in that year.
Yeah.
And you had like Desjardins was on that team still. Commander was on that team, which is very random defenseman, but it was a cool name anyway.
Yeah.
So like it was like a star-studded team anyway. It was like the last gasp. It's like what I always say is like, what's that one team that should have won the cup finals? Like 03, 04 finals.
Yeah.
It's like it should have been perfect. Anyways, Philly, Calgary. Anyways.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the rest of the playoffs you've been watching so far?
Well, the Buffalo Boston series, I've been pretty locked in on that. That's gonna be a bloodbath.
Yeah.
Which some good old time hockey. Love it. Again, Buffalo's, they won it, and Boston's just got that hard nosed style. So that's going to be a bloodbath. How about, Montreal, Tampa Bay? That's going to be crazy. Like Kane Sens, what they go to double overtime last night? Like that's unbelievable.
Wild Stars has been my favorite.
I was just going to say, we'll see what happens with Jake Ottinger. I have Minnesota winning that series, but I think it goes to 7. Like that's going to be.
I got Dallas in that series anyway.
Okay.
I just
how
think
many games?
I got them in 7 anyway.
In 7,
Dallas in 7. I just think it'll be nutty in Dallas.
Well, and Jason Robertson, Mikko Rant, like these guys that are unreal players, and Jake Ottinger's supposed to be that guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they have a shot. That is probably, and when I looked at the bracket and I was, figuring out my own bracket, what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
That's probably the most evenly matched series, I think, in the whole first round.
Yeah, it's like last year's Avs Stars series. Like
yeah,
both
totally.
Teams.
It was even. That's gonna be a heck of a series. Yeah.
Favorite USA hockey player or USA hockey moment not named the gold medal, by the way. That was insane, by the way.
Of all time of history.
It's your viewing period. It's your viewing period.
So I'll never forget, and it's probably pretty cliche, but I'll never forget. I was driving up to a Can-Am tournament, so I was playing in Lake Placid, New York. I was in the car with my dad on the way to Lake Placid, New York, listening to the Sochi Olympics when TJ Oshie. How many rounds was that? Like 10 rounds or whatever it is.
Felt like it. I was in college and I threw that game on in the cafeteria.
And he was the hero in that game. And I'll never forget literally being on my way to to go play at Herb Brooks Arena on the ice where the Miracle on Ice happened, and listening to TJ Oshie win it for Team USA in that Olympics. I'll never forget that. That was just and it being on the radio, it's so dramatic because again, we said it. Radio's theater of the mind. My dad and my dad's gripping the steering wheel and white knuckling the steering wheel, and we're driving through upstate PA and into, upstate New York. And we're like, come on, TJ. And I've never felt like I rooted so hard for something in my life. And it was just the pregnant pause on the radio and it just exploded. And that's probably like one of the all-time hockey moments, really.
That was great. Yeah. That was an all-time moment, even though that team didn't even medal anyways. What a disgrace anyways.
Yeah.
What is your, what's a take that you've had about the Flyers that aged correctly or poorly?
Oh, that aged correctly or poorly. That's a good question. Okay.
I'll give you mine. It's pretty bad actually.
This one, I think I still believe the jury's out on this a little bit. I And I deep down inside of me now, I've kind of silently let this take die, and I haven't really brought it back up. So this is special for the pod here.
Yeah.
I still kind of believe in Jet Luchenko. I still have a feeling that Jet Luchenko's got a higher ceiling than a lot of people believe. I covered the Lehigh Valley Phantoms playoff run last year, and so I got to see him play in person. I talked to him after the game, couple games. He's got obviously a motor. Like, he's really fast.
Yeah.
I understand his offensive ability is not nearly what it needs to be in the NHL, but his playmaking ability and his vision, he's got great vision, and the kid's like 18 or 19. Like, he's still extremely young. I still think he could be like a really good third line center, maybe a second line center, where everyone else believes he'll never, he'll be like a fourth liner. But that's my take. And I guess it's still in the process of aging.
Yeah.
But after his 4-game stint this season, and it didn't go well at all, kind of let that take die.
The new one I have, I said Cam Yorker reminds me of Andrew McDonald or Brandon Manning right now.
Okay.
His vibes of both of those. So you don't know which one I think I was working. Jordy was workshopping it. Like, he just reminds me of Andrew McDonald. Like, I thought you were gonna say Brandon Manning. He just wanted to almost kill me.
So, like, what do you see in him that
he has all this talent, but he doesn't have it all like put together yet.
Yeah.
He said that. I think the other one for me is I said this a few times. I'll trust Chuck Fletcher a little bit. Then I know it's bad. And I thought he should have been fired after the 21-22 season, and they didn't do it immediately. I was like, "What are you guys doing?" So I kind of did my I did my little you're gonna laugh. I did my, like some people do strikes or hunger strikes. I did a strike. I was like, I'm not gonna watch a Flyer. I think I went to one Flyer game. I was like, well, this team's not gonna be even worth watching on television this year.
Yeah, they're a little fast. The Flyers fast.
It was a strike. It was like I did not want. I think I watched. It was a pure strike. I watched. It was like opening night in Florida, and they lost 4-3 after. It was on a back-to-back.
Yeah,
I was like, this team ain't shit. Anyways, it was the first year of Tortorella. Anyways,
yeah. Oh, well, I mean, we'll see. I'm on the fence with York. He's taken strides, but I'm still not quite there yet.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm not to like jump over the fence. Like, this is reminding me of who right now.
Yeah,
who's that? 1D or 1C you think the Flyers should go after? By the way. Because Robert Thomas does not want to leave St. Louis anymore.
No, I know, and that was definitely one that I thought maybe. Man, that's really tough. I mean, I could swing for the fences and say Connor McDavid, but that'd be great. If he wants to leave Edmonton before what he signed a 3-year extension there,
2-year deal.
He's giving it one more go, and he wants out after that.
It's like the LeBron deal. Like, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna give you Cleveland 2 more years, and like if it doesn't work out, I'm leaving.
Yeah. I to be honest, I got to look a little more around the league and who might be wanting to go. Somebody was saying something, and I'm totally blanking on who it was. Somebody might want to leave whatever city they're in. Oh, well.
Austin Matthews.
Yeah, well, that was one of them, and I don't know if I want Austin Matthews. I mean,
Brady Tkachuk.
That's another one. I would actually entertain that. I'd entertain Brady Tkachuk here. I like that type of grit in Philadelphia. He would be an instant fan favorite.
Yeah.
And he's got the skill. So,
but he's kind of the GM in Ottawa. That's a problem.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't fly here. So I'll have to get back to you on who exactly.
We'll circle back.
Yeah, we'll circle back on that one. Yeah,
definitely. White jerseys at home or colored on the road, or colored at home and white on the road.
I'm a colored at home guy.
Okay.
I like the orange. Like the nice, just bright orange at home. When I played, it was the opposite. It was colored on the roads and white at home. For the teams that I played on, and for a lot of the, and even. I guess a lot of my watching, it was the same way in the NHL for some years there. But when did they?
03-04. 03-04 was the first year that it. I like white at home.
Yeah,
I feel like you see when someone does like a color out, especially for a playoff game, you could spot the opposing fans a little more, anyways.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah,
that's why. Like, for example, I go by this. Like, if you're in a Winnipeg whiteout or the Coyotes do their whiteout, you could see all the the opposing like Chicago fans in the game at least.
Yeah. Well, that is a crazy, like when you're in Winnipeg for a whiteout, I mean, that's a
Yeah.
I've never been. I would love
Never have
go.
to, but when you look at it and you see
Yes.
the stands, you see it. Like that's what I always think.
It's intimidating. It's an intimidating, environment.
Like the Panthers do it right out. It's like, okay, I'm gonna wear like if the Flyers are playing, like let me wear do I go white or black? Let me look anyway.
Yes. But I'm a colored at home guy. I think that's a good look.
Should the Flyers make the black jersey from back in the day, the 0304? Is it overdue?
Absolutely. That needs to come back for sure. I thought they were going to bring back the Lindros era, the orange with the black piping, because that's
the one thing that's missing, by the way.
I know, and they felt like they were teasing a jersey review because the yellow jersey the Penguins are wearing this year. That's
an alt jersey. That's an alternate jersey.
Didn't they roll that out as a surprise at the beginning of the season? I think that's what happened. Wasn't it at the beginning of this season? They rolled it out as a surprise jersey. It was them. I think the Wild did a surprise jersey, and another team did like this surprise. We had these new jerseys that was really cool. And the Flyers kind of teased. They had a video, and it was like they weren't showing the jerseys. It was like, no way, they're going to roll out the black piping, and then they didn't.
Yeah.
But I want the black jerseys from that era, and I want the orange with the black piping. I need that. Need it. And
it needs to come back at least.
Well, how about the Sixers did like the 01 retro black with the old Sixers logo? Like the Flyers, you occupy the same building. Maybe take a hint there.
Yeah, just bring it back. It'll be good. Tell me about Defend Philly. When did it get started and everything? Because I was going to do it all the first and so people could listen to it, but I'm going to do it at the end now. So
no, I appreciate it. Yeah, we just started actually this season. So we started before training camp. Right before training camp was our first couple episodes. And Vonnie and I, both Vonnie came to WIP a little bit after me. And I was it was funny doing a training shift, and I was training her how to, run the board and whatever. And it was an overnight shift, and we were just sitting around talking, and we're like, hey, you like the Flyers? I like the Flyers. Let's, we talk about it. Why not put it on camera? And then here we are. So so we started just under a year ago, right before the season started, before training camp. So I went to training camp a few times, did some coverage there, and we were off and rolling ever since. And so it's been a lot of fun. It's been really cool to be associated with WIP loosely. And they've kind of been helping us put out some content, helping promote our content, which has been pretty cool. But it's been awesome. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Twitter, X, Instagram, TikTok. We're doing the best we can because it's not a full-time job. This is something that we created on the side, and obviously, we hit
I do it as well too, so I get it. So
right, and we hit a really great wave here. I mean, again, like I said, our take was the Flyers weren't going to make the playoffs for 3 years, and all of a sudden here we are in our first season. Now the Flyers in the playoffs, and so we're ripping out content as much as we can, and scheduling stuff around it, and it's been a lot of fun.